Good evening. My name is Alberto Mejia. And as you can see, I am a huge New England Patriots fan. Not only am I a Patriots fan, I'm a football fan. I used to play football back in high school. One thing coaches always emphasized was how to properly tackle another teammate. There are over 1 million people in the United States that watch the NFL. We cheer for touchdowns, we cheer for the big plays, we even cheer for the big hits. But do you ever stop and consider the long-term effects of those big hits? Today, I'll be informing you about CTE, chronic trauma encephalopathy. It is a degenerative brain disease. Back in 2002, there was an autopsy done on a former NFL player named Mike Webster. The autopsy was performed by Dr. Bennett Umalu. Dr. Bennett Umalu discovered this new disease, which he then labeled as CTE. Now, what is CTE? What does it actually do? Well, CTE causes confusion, memory loss, impulse control problems, aggression, depression, and suicide thoughts, as well as dementia. CTE occurs to athletes that receive multiple hits to the head. That's why this disease is so well known on football players, but is also known on hockey players. Even more surprising, military veterans can also get CTE. An interesting fact about CTE: the disease can take full effect on the individual months, years, or even decades after their last big hit to the head. Now, once this disease was discovered, over 111 former NFL players donated their bodies so that autopsies can be performed. That way this disease can be figured out even further. Out of the 111 bodies that were donated, 110 bodies tested positive with CTE. Once the NFL saw the outcome of that, they made changes. They made changes all around to their system, including donating $100 million to a medical research team, and as well as a engineering team of neuroscience to get better helmets, better equipment, even turf, so that these players can feel safer about playing this physically demanding sport. Now, granted, it is safer to play now, but it's still a dangerous sport because you're hitting another individual with your body, going full speed. The outcome, it can be safe, but it can also be dangerous. That's why CTE is still around. Former Patriots player Aaron Hernandez died in 2017. His body, there was an autopsy performed on it. His brain, CTE. He was diagnosed with the disease, which explained a lot of the way he behaved towards the end of his days, including the fact that he killed himself, which this disease, that's what it does to the individual. It doesn't let you think straight. It confuses you. Makes you do things you'll regret later on. The next time you're watching an NFL football game, notice how the players tackle. Notice how they're more careful about it. Not only that, the referees, they're more on top of seeing the players, the way they tackle one another. There's no rough hitting allowed. there's no helmet-to-helmet contact allowed, you will get penalized, and the NFL themselves will fine you. They'll fine you up to $20,000, $10,000, $5,000, depending on how bad the hit was on the other player. After all this research was done, the NFL also made 47 rule changes. And because of that, the sport is safer to play. Although there are players that complain that, the referees are just being too soft on the players. It's still a game of football. It's still a game of tackling. You have to hit the other guy. However, there's a right way, there's a wrong way of doing it. And the NFL will keep observing that. The referees will keep a close eye on that. CTE has taken the lives of many players, although football is a sport that millions love. Thank you for listening.